appreciate you being here. Let me introduce our panel. We actually have one of our panelists stuck in Charlotte, North Carolina due to the ice storm, Lauren Gomez. But first let me introduce the gentleman to my left is Jim O'Brien. He's the Vice President of Seattle-based direct response powerhouse Cesari Direct. They have been responsible for some of the most successful direct response campaigns of all time, including the George Foreman Grill, OxyClean, Run Doctor, and many more. Tim focuses on helping clients drive strategic growth, particularly in emerging direct response technologies and digital mobile and second screen. And then Lauren Gomez, who will be on the phone and part of our panel, is the marketing manager at Positec Tool Group. They're the innovative distributor of tools under the brands Rockwell and Works. Her responsibilities include PR and social media, as well as a new segment of direct selling, which is online flash sales, which we're going to talk about today. She's a former hardware buyer at Lowe's. And then finally, on my far left here, we have Fritz Brumder, who's the CEO of Brandlive, and one of the newer members of ERA. He's an internet strategist and entrepreneur. He uses his passion for video production and expertise in internet strategy to launch Brandlive, a leading solution that retailers and brands leverage to create highly engaging online events for their products that combine live video, social interaction, and instant commerce. And Fritz and I are fellow Portland Oregonians, come from across the country. So, one of the things we'd like to invite you to do is to play with us. We'd like you to get your smartphones out and go to brandlive.com/bingo, and each one of you will have a unique bingo card that you can play along, and win a fabulous Brandlive t-shirt.
Yeah, oh, you're not supposed to give away the prize.
Ah, okay.
And it's go to yourbrandlive.com/bingo. And each one of you will get a randomly generated bingo application, and when you win bingo, you need to stand up and yell bingo as loud as you possibly can, all right?
And as a bonus, you know, if you find this boring, you can pretend you're playing bingo while you're responding to your email. Everybody got it?
Good.
All right. So, you know, the reality is that our world of ERA and direct marketing has really changed. The old way was to use a long-form infomercial or commercial spot to interrupt someone watching television. Today, consumers are participating. Television is linear, and the internet is completely non-linear. The internet is like broadcasting your stream of consciousness. In the old days, the broadcaster set the schedule. As we all know, that schedule today is set by the viewer. And we used to be able to do a self-contained sale using ERTV as an organic sales tool back in the day. And largely today, ERTV prompts interest and drives consumers to the internet and through other channels. And yes, there was word of mouth in the past where you would ask a neighbor about a particular product, or are they having success with something they might have bought on television. Today, social networking, reputation management are paramount importance. So Fritz, how did we get here exactly?
Yeah, definitely. This is a little history lesson for you. Who knows what this picture is? This is the first televised presidential debate. And the reason why this has an impact on the industry is the statistics from this are everybody that listened to this debate on the radio, which was the traditional way to get information from politicians, thought that Nixon won. But everybody that watched this televised debate on TV thought that Kennedy won. And what it did was create the first moment where the visual impact of video had a huge effect on winning a prize as large as the presidency. So from this point forward, creating personalities and expressing your brand and your personality and your products on video became so much more impactful. Now we fast forward all the way to the next slide. In the late 1980s, early 1990s, the TV writers go on strike. And this picture is of the first cast of Survivor. And so these people are essentially nobodies, right? This picture could be taken of anybody's high school reunion or something like that. And these were just casted into a reality TV series. And now each of these individuals became celebrities overnight. And fast forward again to 2006, and Time Magazine votes you, everybody here in the audience, the Time Magazine Person of the Year, because everybody was uploading video to YouTube. And the title of the cover reads, "Yes, you control the information age. Welcome to your world." And so essentially what this does, all the way back to the debates, is it sets the stage for anybody to be a broadcaster, anybody to be able to express their message on video, which we all know is such an impactful tool, and then to become a celebrity. And so we've got some really cool examples to show how that's happened over and over again.
Despite all of that change, the primary levers or universal triggers that we pull to excite and engage consumers really haven't changed, and they are scarcity mentality, which is simply put, people want what they can't have, and everybody wants a bargain. It's the desire for a deal. This is one of the things that flash sites do so well. They've really paved the way for people to understand, first of all, what the term flash site means. And I don't know if you're familiar with Gilt.com or Fab or any of the others, Dot and Bow. There's quite a few of them. Nordstrom owns Hotlook. But essentially, they turn every day into Black Friday. They throw the doors open virtually online with limited quantities of products, deeply discounted. In the case of Gilt, it's designer goods, so a $500 pair of shoes now is $295. And as soon as they do their little countdown clock and throw the doors open, the sale is on. And if you don't act quickly, they'll sell out of your shoes. So Lauren's going to talk a little bit about how Positec has been creating their own flash sales, bypassing home shopping networks to have their own kinds of events. Go ahead, Lauren. Great. Ivan, go ahead and play that clip.
Y'all saw today only during this broadcast, $89.99 or 3 payments of $30, free shipping. You don't need a code. You can just scroll down and shop right from the screen you're in now, or you can buy the 24-volt GT, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes,
Nice.
for $99.99. It's regularly $129.99, so $30 savings. It is. It's great. And if you want to buy it together,
So one of the things that's cool about this is they're essentially able to do their own version of the QVC or HSN. But Lauren, I'm sure one of the questions that people have is you have to be able to have a critical mass of devotees for your brand or an audience in order for this to work. Talk to us a little bit about how that has worked for you guys.
Yes, you're totally right. Josh has a significant number to start out with. And luckily, being so direct, we have quite a database for both our brand and our email. So that's where we get most of our customers. But we know we're with customers now, especially because now we have a limited breadth of products. So we also are coming in social media. We're advertising quite a bit on Facebook, events.
So again, imagine, if you will, taking that flash cell concept and being able to leverage sight, sound, and motion to create urgency and excitement and sell product. Now, Fritz, I understand that there are other applications for this in terms of product testing, offer testing. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. What inspired me most about the examples I gave on YouTube and the ability for anybody to become a broadcaster in a very, very short period of time. You really don't need a lot of equipment. One of the other great examples that everybody is familiar with is Skype and FaceTime. You can have a really high-quality visual engagement with somebody on the other side of the world with very simple tools and technology. And so what we set out to do was to build a platform that would take that video and apply it to business use cases. And one of the examples that, of course, we're talking about here is flash sales, but that can also be applied to product training. So, if you can get on a Skype call with 100 of your best customers and train them on your new products and your new features and benefits, that would be really impactful for you and save you a lot of money. Similarly, for focus groups, you want to get feedback from people, and you want to explain your products to them in a similar way that they're ultimately going to be sold, which, as we know, is going to be on video.
It would seem to be one of the advantages, unlike a traditional focus group. First of all, it's a fraction of the cost, but secondly, you don't have one person in the room influencing everybody else unduly, so you're sort of getting feedback. And Lauren, I understand that one of the things that you do, we're looking at the compelling demo content slide, is that you can respond to viewers who are texting you live during your broadcast online. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin. The first reason people come to our events is because of the flash sale. The second reason is to see the tools demonstrated. We're a cool company. People love to see tools in action. And so, over the past year, we really kind of put together some best practices. And it's a blast what your customers want to see your tools do. And so one thing we found that works is making our demos project related. Instead of just cutting it with wood, we turn it into a project like creating a chair rail for a nursery, something like that. And then it's what you just said, Rick, is listen to your viewers. Because we do see the stream of comments coming in. And so what we try to do is prep a lot of basic demos, but then see what the customers are asking for. And a lot of times the tools they'll ask for me to demonstrate us some of the they want to see how heavy the tool is, or they want to see a basic cut that we didn't think anyone would be interested in, or things like that. And I think my favorite moment of all time is doing these demos is when someone wanted to see our Sonicraster cut the carpet, and we hadn't cut that demo yet, and one of our co-workers was just using the carpet for us to cut. And it was really funny because we had no idea our co-worker was going to do that, and it was fun to say, okay, Nathan from Idaho, you asked for it, and here it is, we're cutting the carpet live for you on air. It was obvious it was a live demo, but we're reaching the size we're needed the carpet. And then the last thing you want to doing these over the past year is that live is to your advantage when you're doing your demos. A lot of demos you do on these broadcasts, you develop for our shows, and when you do them live, they're a lot more impactful, and people believe them more. They know the camera's not cutting out. They can tell we're not perfect, but they know it's a live going broadcast. And the things that we've done before, even more when they're on the fly. There's no script behind them.
Ivan, let's go ahead and show this clip.
You were in the right place there. That's the one.
Down a little bit. There you go.
Let's do it. Yeah, we actually have a project I'm working on, as I said, I'm expecting, and I'm working on putting up a chair rail in the nursery. So right here I have a piece of molding that I'm just going to make a cut, and then you're going to actually bevel it with another tool that we're showing today, which is our compact circle.
So we're showing how easy it is. I told you can go, so this is a wood blade, simply set it in, that easy.
Yeah, so really, really quick. And just put it right here.
She's just bringing down the guard, which holds the material in place. You can keep both hands on your material while you're making the cuts.
Exactly.
Much safer, and you have more control over what you're cutting.
Yeah, both hands on my material.
So again, as you can see, that was a simulated interaction with the platform, as people can ask questions, they can respond to them in real time. You think about how popular do-it-yourself as a category is in reality television. You know, we can create a dramatic arc out of virtually anything. Somebody re-wallpapering your bathroom. So you have these demos, you're going to see things live in real time. How's it going to turn out? There's a certain amount of dramatic tension that's created by that live aspect. Now, Tim, I know you, Cesari, work with GoPro. You guys are combining broadcast with online to do some promotions in the near term here.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. You know, GoPro is a real innovative brand, real forward-thinking, and they're single-handedly, we feel, responsible for a massive shift in how consumers document and share their lives. How many people out here have ever heard of a GoPro camera before? Right? It's absolutely taken this country by storm. You know, Fritz's organization has already done the other side of the equation for us, and that is really getting GoPro to enhance the consumer experience at live events. For example, Vail Mountain Games out in Colorado, X Games in Austin, Texas in the summer, and amplifying the experience. And for those that can't be there in person, we can go ahead and broadcast live interactions with athletes, interactions with the folks in and around the brand at the events. The holy grail for Cesari, for us as their agency, is really to drive a monumental amount of traffic to that. And part of the sandbox, if you will, that we want to play in 2014 is to use our power of direct response, short form media to drive traffic specifically with a call to action and a spot to a live event that we can hopefully, as you know, kind of tried and true direct response marketers, monetize that event for them through either a special deal on a bundled package of product for them, perhaps, you know, with their new camera launch that's coming up in June of this year. That could be a good spot. So for us, we love the idea of the authenticity of the online video, the streaming live platform, but we want to solve the other side of that equation that Rick alluded to earlier, and that is build a mass audience that's going to arrive at that live event that can then interact with that brand there. And so hopefully at 2014 here at ERA in Vegas, we can have a follow-up to this case study that I can get out to folks that we can implement this in this year.
It would also seem to be that given the consolidation that's occurred at retail, this is an opportunity for any marketer to open up a new channel, a direct channel that eliminates the middleman, provides better margins, etc. Not that it would supplant the sheer volume they could do at mass retail, but certainly another avenue without
another
broadcast media cost.
Quick note on that, your online campaign can be executed a lot faster and with a lot less dollars to prove that something works. And that can be proof that you need in order to have the confidence to go deeper on a product and take it to larger TV channels. Or it can also be the metrics and the data and the proof that you can take to the buyers of the online media and or the distribution channels of your online, of your TV video to be able to get the space, right? If you want to get a really popular show and a really popular time slot, if you've got the proof that it's working already online, you're going to have a lot better case.
You know, one of the things that user-generated content, likes of YouTube, has created is an environment where everything doesn't have to be slick, it can be unfiltered, it can be shaky camera, what have you. I know at Cesari, you guys are doing some interesting things, trying to repurpose content in creative ways. Tell us about this image.
Yeah, you know, this image is of a typical focus group that many of us have probably participated in, and we make that a regular practice with all of our campaigns, because we're never satisfied with the performance. We're constantly trying to see if we can raise the bar with the performance. one of the things that kind of dawned on us, and frankly it was along with GoPro, is we love the veil that's lifted in these focus groups. As marketers, as agencies, we get to sit behind the one-way mirror there, and we just get to peer into a world that it's kind of rare. We don't ever really get to see. And so it dawned on us, literally right after the holidays this year, we had a focus group in January for a beauty brand that we work with. We actually decided to use GoPro cameras, believe it or not, because they're unbelievably inexpensive and powerful at capturing these moments and not intrusive. We rigged a focus group session that we conducted in Salt Lake City, Utah, with about 8 GoPro cameras and just captured the whole thing. And the purpose of this was to not only garner the insights of the traditional focus group, but then we had this content that we could repurpose, and our creative director, Ron Lynch, talks about going beyond the CTA in our infomercial, beyond the call to action. We have those traditional call to actions we talked about, but what we're doing in this particular long form that actually goes back on the air March 1st is we're using excerpts from the focus group to play in the actual long form, but a scroll will come up in the show that will invite the viewer to see the full story at the landing page associated with this particular brand. And so, in addition to the CTA, going beyond the CTA, we're going to be inviting folks to kind of pull the veil back even further and really be transparent and authentic with these folks so they can hear both good and bad things about this product. And we believe that ultimately that's going to be a more powerful conversion tool for us as well.
Nielsen says that currently 3/4 of the people that have smartphones and tablets are using them while they watch television. And in the last couple of seasons of Breaking Bad, AMC would start the broadcast by inviting you to start your second screen experience. So one of the things that's happening is there's an opportunity for advertisers to say, okay, we know that consumers are engaging in this behavior, but we'd like to direct them versus sort of leaving them to their own devices. I don't think people, frankly, are really watching infomercials anymore. I think they're watching a couple of minutes, and then they're going online, and they're checking out your reputation or your product or service, and they're doing their own due diligence. So that brings us to how you organize your videos in general and how you organize your videos on YouTube, because in some ways I would suggest to you that what consumers are really looking for when they go online to check you out is permission to buy. But if you make it difficult for them to access the information that they need in order to get them over the hump to purchase, then you lose. If you make it easy, you win. So Lauren, tell us a little bit about how Positec approaches this. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that in the sort of 1.0 version, you would go to a landing page for an asking on TV or DRTV type of product, and you would see a call to action immediately launch, or even I can remember a mineral makeup line where they would just start the infomercial. So one of the things that we believe we should be evolving to is just like when you go to Amazon.com and you go to a product page, you know how that's organized. You know how to navigate it. You know where to go to look at the reviews, the good reviews, the bad reviews, etc. That video assets, the same kind of thoughtfulness should be put into how you organize them. And again, in a non-linear fashion, maybe breaking them up into components to make it easy for the consumer to access what they're looking for. They may have seen a testimonial that was emotional for a weight loss product, and now they want to show their spouse. We need to make it easy for them to be able to find it. Tell us about, we're now looking at the slide, Lauren, about how organizing videos helps accomplish the goals with the Pinterest image. I didn't realize that Pinterest, that people were putting videos up there. Tell us about this. You there, Lauren?
Yeah, are you talking about the Pinterest page?
It's the organizing videos helps to ensure customer support is available, etc.
Sure. Yeah, so organizing your videos can really help with a lot of things. You know, it kind of helps give customers confidence that there's support. You know, if they don't want to talk to someone on the phone, they can just look at, you know, YouTube channel or YouTube playlist and see how to use those tools and see assurance that support's there. It also is really great to excite customers about using those tools. You know, a lot of our lawn tools, when you show a video creating, you know, gorgeous, you know, edge on your yard, people get really excited and get excited about using the product. And then organizing those videos can also inspire customers on, you know, new ways to use the product, stuff they didn't think about. And the image I have is from Pinterest, and Rust-Oleum has curated a lot of their videos into a how-to board. And a lot of people don't realize Pinterest is a great place to also organize your videos. You can just pull them directly from YouTube or Vimeo, and you can put them into boards for how-to, you can put them in boards for help. You can also pull third-party reviews into a board and have just your reviews collected together as well. So that's another great place to organize those reviews, especially if you have products that are inspirational and sexy and things like that.
And then now we're looking at the image of organizing video clips into playlists with the words air plus attachments visible. Tell us about that.
I'm sorry, Rick, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying that we're looking at the image that shows the works, air, and attachments that talks about organizing video clips into playlists.
Yeah, so putting everything into a playlist just lets the customers access everything about that tool that they need to, you know, get all the information before they buy that product. It's just a really clean way to pull all those assets together. And then if they go to our YouTube page, they can see that playlist and then check out a different product, and it's all just pulled together and organized.
Thank you. Now, Tim, I know one of the challenges is you really need to think about all of the different kinds of assets you would need given this new reality, and yet the failure rate in DRTV is so high, you probably have resistance on the front end, potentially from clients who don't want to spend the money to get the extra assets. How do you reconcile that? What are you seeing out there?
Well, to be honest with you, we just make it part of our protocol that we're going to begin to collect a lot of these assets and make that part of the project up front. And we explain to folks that you know, gone are the days of just having a 30-minute show and putting that on the air. We need this collective group of content in order for this to have a fighting chance at you know, thriving in today's current kind of media consumption landscape. And so we set that expectation up front that we are going to collect assets that are going to be organized, and we deliver as part of the scoping of the project is a full matrix, if you will, of here's the content we're going to shoot for the body of this show, but here are the ancillary pieces and components that are going to be collected during this process so that we know we have the full toolkit available to us to deploy something of this magnitude so these folks are ready and prepared for today's landscape.
Thank you. Of course, one of the other things that's happening now that can benefit a marketer is we have user-generated content. It helps provide social proof because it is organic, it's created out in the marketplace. And this is just a clip, this is a clip of a transformation using Insanity from Beachbody. And if you go on YouTube, you'll see any number of time lapses, transformations, etc., which really help generate great word of mouth. One of the things that, you know, comes up all the time now is the idea of doing a so-called viral video. And I often say, you know, what you're really doing is a webisode that you hope goes viral. I think we can count on one or two hands the number of marketers that have successfully set out to create a so-called viral video and succeeded. What we do know is that the primary characteristics of viral videos are they're short, there's some sort of instant gratification aspect to them. You think about the stuff that gets spread around Facebook, for example. They're often funny, or they're emotionally engaging. You know, we've all seen the video of the person who comes out on stage who looks like they can't sing, and then all of a sudden they can. One example of someone in this industry that was successful with a viral video was pretty outrageous, was the sticky roller. What you hear in this image is shown as tired of shedding pussy, and then they show how this roller actually is effective at picking up cat hair. I have no idea how that line passed standards and practices, but I did observe this go from nothing to 7 million hits in the course of a week, because I think that line was irresistible to every adolescent male in America. And again, these look deceptively simple. This is one of the most famous, most popular viral videos that I'm sure you've probably all seen. We'll run the first part of it here.
Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler can use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis.
And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pump up. Stop paying for shave tank you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
I'm working.
What are you doing now?
Waiting.
No Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
So, based upon the success of this video, which I think last time I looked was, you know, it was
7 million.
I think it was a 10 or 11 at one point, but in any event, this guy raised somewhere between 10 and 12 million in private equity to build the company. But here's what's interesting, even though this started online, they're now running a 60-second version on TV of this spot. There's still no substitute for the mass media impact of television. And even Guild.com and Fab.com, these flash sale sites, they're doing TV commercials as well. But I don't know if I mentioned it, but if you don't think that there's merit to the flash sale concept, Fab.com was valued last June at $1 billion. And a few years ago, I didn't think it existed. Another thing that's emerging are video bloggers or vloggers, and the story of Bethany Moda is pretty phenomenal. This is a girl from California who would do haul videos. Haul videos are basically videos where a girl, in this case a teenage girl, sets up a tripod in her bedroom and reviews her shopping haul. I have a 14-year-old daughter. When I come in from my studio into the kitchen, she is just as likely to be watching one of these videos as she is in broadcast TV. So let's take a look at Bethany's first video, just the first few seconds.
This is going to be my first video. It's actually a haul video. I was talking to Allison. He's looking to go for, and she said that I should do a haul video on some accents that I just got, plus my Sephora package just came in today because I ordered some stuff from there. So it's going to be in here too. And before I start, if you guys have any requests, because I'm going to be starting like a lot of tutorials and hauls and reviews and things. So if you guys have any requests, just let me know in a message or a comment. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to start with this. I got a sample of the
Today, Bethany Moda has 5.2 million subscribers. She cut a deal with Aeropostale to create her own line of fashion products. So let's take a look at her today.
Say hello to my little minion. Hey guys, so as you can tell, right now I am not in my bedroom. Well, I am in my room, but a different room. I'm actually on my tour bus because, as most of you guys know, I am on the Motivate tour.
So pretty amazing. When I was at the mall at the holidays, I looked in the doorway of that Aeropostale, and there was huge banners. She's all over their website and so forth. And as Fritz was saying, you know, we're in this era now of reality TV and people who are essentially nobodies becoming very famous, gaining traction. And what's interesting to me about her story is that she started out being incredibly authentic and real and genuine. And I asked my 14-year-old daughter, I said, when she starts to sort of hawk products now, does she lose her credibility? And she said, absolutely not. So just like any celebrity that would endorse L'Oreal or Beauty Line, she's built goodwill and equity with an audience out there. And again, we're in an era where everything doesn't have to be huge, although I would suggest to you that this is pretty significant. You can have smaller tribes of people that are devoted to brands, personalities, and so forth. It doesn't have to always be mass. And you know, it's really reflective of how fragmented our landscape is.
Yeah, one quick comment on that. You know, everybody always talks about personalization and segmentation of your audience. Now, because your message can be created so much faster, it actually is pretty efficient to create very targeted experiences for subsegments of your customers. And if you maintain some of those basic attributes, just be who you are, be true to your product, and have a good story, tell your story to each of those different customer segments, I think that there's a lot of additional success to be had and growth from your current customer base.
And as we see new generations of consumers, direct response consumers coming up, they're all holding a device like this as if it's an internal organ that's vital to their survival. One of the things that's happened is, you know, we've reached again a point of instant gratification and short attention spans, and it has absolutely reflected the generational usage of video, how they're consuming content, the fact they're not watching TV live anymore to a large degree. And Lauren, I know that Positec has gotten involved in using Instagram in mind. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. I mean, this comes as no news. Anyone who's children who went to Facebook and are now on Instagram and other sites like mine. And the key to these sites is quick, simple, and fun. And there's a lot of brands out there. There's some really fun things on Instagram and Vine. And when I say quick, I mean very quick. The Vine video is only 6 seconds, but it does kind of loop around. So it makes for a lot of fun things you can do with it. And I
You have to go out of the PowerPoint to get there. Didn't come up.
You have to be online too.
Yeah, we'll just go back. I think you guys have all seen Vines. There's actually a photographer that's been hired by the likes of Lowe's, the hardware store, I think American Express, to do these little mini Vines and turn them into advertisements. I mean, it's interesting to me, and my kids range in age from 11 to 30, so I kind of see these, their habits. And what's hot changes every 6 months. I can't tell you how many times the 14-year-old, I'll say, did you see that thing I put on Facebook? She said, Dad, how many times do I have to tell you I'm not on Facebook? She's not on Facebook because once their parents and grandparents have tried to friend them, it's no longer cool. The 11-year-old is constantly on Instagram, Snapchat. They do the Vine. They love the instant gratification aspects of that, the social aspects. And in the latest Electronic Retailer magazine, I actually wrote a feature on the buying habits of teens and tweens. And it's interesting because they don't think of it as advertising or marketing. They don't think that they're necessarily aiding a marketer. Like when one of the boys said, they'll post a picture of a new jersey and they'll see another kid wearing that jersey and they want it. They're essentially virally spreading messages on behalf of marketers. So, the thing about today is there really is no finish line. There's all these emerging models, and there's going to be new ones all the time. And it can be a little daunting to think about. You have to stay ahead of the game. This is just another example from Works. So really it's important to consider the entire picture, both offline and online. Obviously a lot of people that are part of the RA start with infomercials or spots. There's still a few cases where optical media is distributed. Call for the reverse mortgage information packet. You get this DVD. You've got digital downloads. You still have home shopping. And then online, Fritz tells, there's a whole myriad of things we've been talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are so many different ways to get your message out in social media channels and video sites. And I think just picking one or two to start is a really good way to dip your toe in the water and then build a strategy of what Tim is talking about, which is connect your offline advertisements to your online video content, and then take the examples that Lauren provided of organizing that content, making it easily digestible. It's all about user interface and user experience in your online environment. And then finally, live sale events. At Brandlive, we definitely believe that taking the proof that QVC and HSN, the Home Shopping Network, has proven for years and years and years is that live really works, and it's very authentic, and it fits really, really well into the online experience that people are looking for of instant gratification. So you use those tenets and beliefs that work, and then translate them into the online world.
A couple of quick final comments from me. I mean, for me, and kind of our vision at Cesari is this all boils down to kind of two main pillars for us, and that is sincerity and credibility. And as a brand, I mean, remember that we profess that your brand is the promise that you're keeping your customer, and that sincerity and credibility through the use of these offline and online video strategies has to be permeated throughout all of that. And the more that you can infuse your messaging with that, the more powerful we feel and we know your brand is going to be received and utilized in the marketplace. So keep those in mind as fundamental pillars of your strategies for this.
The other reality is that if you don't cover your bases and you aren't controlling your messaging, the marketplace can and will. Just to tell you a story, I did a product that Flo Rida, a rapper, endorsed, and the DJ Deadmau5 decided to attack the ad and started tweeting about it in incredibly negative ways. We had 400,000 hits in about a 24-hour period. It was just a stream of haters. Because one of the things about Twitter is that they make you kind of high-five a celebrity. So everybody was jumping on that bandwagon. And Deadmau5 has attacked like Justin Bieber in the past. Justin Bieber fought back and would, comment back and respond. Nobody told Florida what was going on. So the chorus was, all of one flavor. So again, that's the kind of thing that can happen and why it's so important to be aware of what's happening there. Are there any questions we can answer from the audience?
Ooh, you won?
Nice. All right, we have a winner.
Nice.
All right.
Well, we have a Brandlive shirt for you.
Well, here's our contact information. We'd love to hear from you if there's anything further. And if not, no questions. Thank you all for attending. We really appreciate it. Have a great rest of the conference.